Chicago won big last night, and it's a tough segue, but Connor Bedard was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And
there was some tweets, Hazy, that said Chicago may be turning a corner. I was like, wow.
I'm not going that distance, but the Olympic stuff is interesting. I don't see him on this team, and I have not seen him on this team just because of how young he is. And, if he's going to play deeper in the lineup, I don't see Cooper feeling overly confident with him on a fourth line, checking line with Cirelli and Bennett or something like that.
Yeah.
But he looks good.
He does look
He
good.
looks pretty good. Do you think there's a chance he's at least poking at Doug Armstrong saying, don't forget about me before we get to Italy?
Well, look, Pierre, you chime in on this because you're a lot closer to that situation than I am. I feel like there has to be a chance. I think that you have to allow the possibility for a young guy with this sort of skill pedigree to play his way into that conversation. I think, was it like a 29th multi-point game for Connor Bedard?
What about just game breaker stuff, Dregs? The World Junior team in Ottawa this year, they could have used a few more game breakers, and I'm pretty sure after that tournament they said, we went about it the wrong way and we needed a game breaker here or there. I don't know.
Yeah. He's got to be in the conversation.
He is. And, I asked Doug Armstrong specifically about Bedard and Celebrini a couple weeks ago. And there's a couple things that the Team Canada GM said. One is that they did invite those two kids to Calgary for the Olympic camp because they're future stars for Team Canada or whatever.
Yeah.
They invited them because they think they can make the team. The notion that, well, maybe you take one of those kids so that they get their feet wet and then the next Olympics in 4.5 years they'll really no. If one of these kids makes Team Canada for Milan, it's because they think they can be a player in that tournament, is what Armstrong said. And I think they're getting a real look. And to use Armstrong's words, if either Bedard or Celebrini pop, that was the word he used, pop, in the opening 2 months of the season, they have a legit chance to make the Olympic team.
That'd be a cool story.
I feel like there's too many guys.
Which is a good thing.
No, there's just too many guys for them to hop over.
Oh, they have to get over veterans, established Four Nations players, you're saying?
That's hard to argue.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the scores for Team Canada the last few years, or just Canadian players. Mm-hmm. It's McKinnon, McDavid, Marner, Crosby, Reinhart. That's 5, all making it, right? 0.6 Suzuki.
I think he'd be on the team, and he wasn't even on the Four Nations.
Yeah, but that Nick Suzuki for me, that is debatable.
Okay,
only in the sense that
that he hasn't shown up for the World Championship,
and that's left a stain on his resume. Now, if he played well in the second half of the year last year, he played like a player who should be higher up the chart than I've got him. And chances are that he's going to make it, but he's got to have a real good run here, a real good start for the Montreal Canadiens to stay in that grouping, because otherwise, Jonas is right. How do you factor him in? If you're not allowing Bedard to play his way into the mix, especially if Nick Suzuki is just hanging on there, then doesn't really matter.
Well, and it's going to be a different style of play over there too, right? I know we all love the Four Nations. They're not fighting and throwing massive hits over there. It's not going to be the same game. It's going to be a very different game, and that I think is more conducive to Celebrini and Bedard possibly, pushing their way in. And I look at a guy like Sam Bennett, who we all love. I love Sam Bennett. I love him in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Mm-hmm. Love them at the Four Nations. Am I going to love him at the Olympics?
Okay, so
I don't know.
What about Marchand?
That's another one. Are you going to take over? He was great in the playoffs and he was fiery, but he's 37, 38. Go ahead, Pierre. You chime in on this.
Well, aside from Suzuki, which is an obvious bubble name who wasn't on Four Nations, Robert Thomas and Mark Scheifele are two other real obvious bubble names that I know Team Canada is tracking closely. It's a 25-man roster for Milan as opposed to 23 for Four Nations. Right. So there's actually 2 extra roster spots, something else to keep in mind. But, he can't take everyone. And one thing I'll say, and I think this is always something we forget, is that the tournament in Milan is going to be played on NHL ice, not on international ice. NHL ice dimensions. So, I'm not saying that definitely guarantees Sam Bennett makes it again, to your point, Hayes, but it is NHL size ice. Now, if they get the rink built in time, which I won't even get into because I've been tracking that story the last 24 hours about the arena construction delays. But so they are building an NHL roster is what I'm saying, not necessarily like 30 years ago where you're worried about all the extra ice in international hockey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of strange, but that's usually what happens with these massive tournaments. Like, go down to BMO Field. They don't have that thing complete, and the World Cup's right around the corner. So is it strange that the ice is not complete? Yes.
Dude, what about that bridge at the President's Cup? That bridge was supposed to be done a year before it was not done.
That's right, in Montreal.
Yeah, and it was like, what, did this creep up on you guys or what?
Yeah, not getting it done. We'll figure it out.
Just to wrap up the roster talk here and to play devil's advocate, I remember when Canada was building its 2010 Vancouver team, Yzerman and Babcock wanted a team that would win a 2-1 hockey game. They didn't care about the scoring. They cared more about the defensive side. That was the strategy. I mean, do you employ some of that? I mean, look around the top scorers in the NHL right now, and you look at Team USA, man.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, do you build your roster to a degree with that sort of thinking in mind? More Stanley Cup playoff related than the young guns or high-flying offense.
And that would be a guy like Sam Bennett would factor in well with that.
Brandon Hagel is a guy we haven't mentioned.
Yeah.
He's probably going to be on the team.
Sorelli's a winner.
Wyatt Johnston.
Possibly, but young guy without
Young
that
guy.
experience.
Seth Jarvis, didn't he make the Four Nations?
He did. He was there. Konechny was there. Guys like that. Yeah, we'll see.